Most of us can likely relate to the sentiment that it feels as though our lives constantly have a million moving pieces. We always have something to do, or something to worry about, or something that's simply taking up a lot of mental space. Everyone deals with this overwhelm in different ways, but it seems as though scrolling, binge watching, shopping, and substance abuse are the most common ways that we shut out the world and our problems. This is likely because each of these things give us an instant hit of dopamine, which leaves us searching for more, and in turn perpetuates a cycle of repeating these behaviors. In doing so, we are using up our time, which is our most precious resource, in doing things that don't actually enrich or fulfill our lives. In college, I minored in philosophy, and I can truly say that studying it has changed the course of my life for the better. It allowed me to reflect on what was really important to me and how to focus on those things while drowning out the things that weren't as important. I can particularly remember my perspective on things completely shifting after I read an excerpt of On the Shortness of Life by the Stoic philosopher Seneca. Essentially, he writes a letter to a friend, and in this letter, he elaborates on the fact that we often forget that time is actually our most valuable resource, and that we tend to give it away without a second thought. He really impresses on the recipient of this letter that having a life full of luxury and relaxation, or a life full of constant, essentially workaholicism, is not necessarily a meaningful life. And he specifically states that the preoccupied find life very short. And if we really knew how many years we had left to live, we might have different priorities about how we would spend those years. Personally, I believe that we should spend whatever free time we have by doing things that are fulfilling to us. In Stoic philosophy, it is seen as essentially a waste of one's time to worry about things that you genuinely have no control over. By releasing those things to the fate of whatever entropy controls the universe, you can focus your energy on taking control of your time and money in ways that you actually can. And obviously, this doesn't just all exist in a vacuum, and we live in a society where we need to trade our time for money and then trade our money for food and shelter. But for most of us, these are unfortunately systems in which we cannot directly control. In focusing on the things that we can directly control, we can attempt to spend our free time doing things that make us feel grounded and peaceful. In today's society, every dollar is a vote, and what you spend your money on matters. And that's kind of the point of this no buy or low buy challenge that I'm doing this year, and really thinking about where and how I'm spending my money and if it aligns with my personal values. But back to the topic of time. If you notice yourself in a habitual reoccurrence of time wasting and dopamine seeking behaviors, you might also notice a lack of fulfillment in your life, or perhaps feelings of depression or anxiety or lack of control. When you seek these forms of short-term dopamine, your brain unfortunately becomes reliant on it. Personally, I find great benefits when I read, move my body, journal, spend time in nature, and connect with people that I love. And although those things seem pretty simple to achieve on paper, when our brain chemistry and societal structures come into play, it can seem as though the world is stacked against our happiness. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but by living in the moment and cherishing what is right in front of you, it's possible to find meaning and fulfillment where it seems there might not be any. I've learned that by practicing gratitude as much as I can and accepting the fact that nothing in life is certain in true Stoic fashion, I am much more content. And as silly as it seems, a small bit of journaling or reflection at the beginning or end of the day can truly change your life, and it is highly suggested by most Stoic philosophers. A little reflection can truly go such a long way, and when we journal about our day or our feelings in regards to it, we can notice patterns and then react and adjust accordingly. If we all spent more energy treating our time as the precious resource it actually is, we could really begin to seek fulfillment, joy, and connection in things that matter most to us in life. I will leave you all with this quote from one of my former philosophy professors that really brings the point home. Instead of following the rules blindly and going about our everyday existence, instead of living only to live up to everybody's expectations, we realize that we are defined by a radical freedom. Our lives are ours, radically ours, because our mortality is ours and ours alone. You only have one life, so it's up to you to decide how you want to live it. And until the next one, I'm sending you all my love, because we are just trying our best out here.